Hey guys, Jerry here from Rocket Chiro, the business and marketing podcast for chiropractors. In today's podcast, we are going to talk about what is the biggest mistake that chiropractors make when they first get started with their practice and as chiropractors. Now, I was asked this recently on a podcast, and I had to think about it for a while because there are a lot of mistakes that chiropractors make, and this is not uniquely chiropractic. I mean, anyone that's in a situation where they get out of school and then have to start a business, which is not necessarily something you get taught in school, you're sort of ripe for making mistakes. And I would say people that have regular jobs and decide to start a small business often make some really common mistakes and sometimes big mistakes. But trying to narrow it down to just one thing is sort of like me as a Buffalo Bills fan trying to narrow down the worst draft pick the Bills have made in my lifetime. That's kind of tough. It's EJ Manuel, by the way. Quarterback, Florida State. But I digress. Chiropractors are in a really strange situation. They're in a strange situation because when you get out of school, school has taught you how to pass boards. There's sort of a diagnostic and clinical element to school that prepares you to pass boards so you can get a license and then you can start practicing as a chiropractor. But the parts of being a chiropractor that really, really matter, the stuff that really moves the needle within the community, are going to be a combination of your business and marketing skills, your people skills, and some of your clinical skills. Now, the crazy thing is that clinical skills don't really actually matter quite as much as what a lot of chiropractors think. Now, that's not me telling you that it's okay to be sloppy as a chiropractor. I think there's an epidemic of sloppy chiropractors, and that chiropractors in general should be committed to being excellent. They should be known for it. Like our profession should be known for, if a chiropractor says they do something, they do it great. Like that would be a wonderful reputation that our profession currently doesn't have, but it would be nice to have it. Now, does that mean that clinical excellence or the lack of clinical excellence is the biggest mistake chiropractors make? I don't think so. And the reason I don't think so is because there are chiropractors out there who are clinically excellent, who are struggling or failing, and maybe even not even being chiropractors anymore. And then there's chiropractors out there who aren't very clinically excellent, but they're really good with people and they're really good with business, and they have really big practices, sometimes multiple practices. So I don't think the clinical excellence element of chiropractic is the biggest mistake. I think the biggest mistake that chiropractors make when they first get into practice and when they first start helping people is they've never really sat down and answered the question, who am I? Who is my ideal person? And how do I help them? They haven't really defined the parameters of their chiropractic practice and their chiropractic experience. And a lot of traditional chiropractors will really crap on the back pain clinic. You know, they're like, well, that's not real chiropractic, or chiropractic is more than just back pain. And I would never disagree with that point. I do think that chiropractic has a lot to do with things that are not just back pain. But the thing that the back pain clinic does well is they define who they are, what they help, and it's really easy to understand for the average person. I mean, think about this. You're most likely going to be in an area where there are other chiropractors. You're most likely going to be in an area where there's a lot of other chiropractors that have been there longer than you, chiropractors that have had the opportunity to build better SEO and better reputations and get more reviews and build relationships within the community. Like you're starting behind the eight ball when you start a new practice in an area. You're playing catch up. And so when you're in that situation, have you ever really stopped and asked the question, like, why would someone pick me? You're not the one with the most experience. You're not the one with the most social credit in the area. You're not the one with the most community involvement. You're not the one with the most reviews. You're not the one with the best SEO. Why pick you? And if you've been in practice for a while and you've never really established clarity as far as like who you are and who you help and what is your practice about, you're probably having these same issues where why would someone pick you? Even if you've been around for 4 or 5 years or 10 years, like why would someone pick you? Because what should happen, good marketing, when it's done well, when people your people, the ideal patient, the people that you really, really want to attract into your practice. But when they see your website, when they read your reviews, when they look at your social media accounts, there's an internal sigh of relief that sort of tells them like, oh, thank God, I found the right place. That's what should happen. There should be this draw to you because of what you're putting out there. But if you don't know who you are, how in the world do you expect them to know who you are? There's a randomness to chiropractors that don't know who they are that isn't great for marketing. It's really bad marketing. And the way you think about it is this, like think about it from like a fishing standpoint. Like if I were to say to you, like, I'm going to go fishing. Now I'm not a fisherman. I'm just not, but I do know this, that the type of fish I'm trying to catch does change the type of equipment I use, where I go, when I go, and how I go. All of that changes. If I wanted to get a largemouth bass, that would be very different than if I wanted to get a swordfish, or if I wanted to get a marlin or a salmon. Those are different places. They're different fish. It's different equipment. It's different bait. It's different strategies. And if a chiropractor thinks that every single person that is within driving distance of your practice is an ideal fit for your practice, like, you don't know who you are. And I guarantee you nobody else knows who you are because you're trying to be everything to everyone. And that's not a good way to start a business. It's not a good way to run a business. You're much better off getting clarity on who you are. Like, what's your wheelhouse? What is the thing that you just do great? What is the thing you do better than most people? What is your superpower? You know, who are the patients that come to you that are they're not the most difficult. They're actually the ones that are like, these people, yeah, I got it. Like, I'll give you a simple example. When I was in practice, like, I don't like shoulders. If somebody came to me, I remember when I took boards, I did Part 4 boards. And I remember standing there, and I was in the x-ray portion when I first got started. And I was standing there with my back turned to the x-ray. We're getting ready to start boards. They're getting ready to, like, I don't remember if it was a whistle or a bell, or I don't know what it was, but they were going to make a sound and it was going to start, and then you turn around and you get started. And I remember standing there thinking, like, please don't be a shoulder. Like, please don't be a shoulder. Please don't be a shoulder. Please don't be a shoulder. And they blew the little whistle. I turned around and it was an x-ray of a shoulder. And I didn't get the question right because I don't do shoulders. I'm no good at it. I got a bum shoulder myself and I don't know what to do about it. So I'm not a shoulder guy. And if I were to kind of generically put information out and like acting like I'm everything to everyone and I'm going to try to help people with shoulders, even though I shouldn't be, that's not helpful. It's not helpful for the people that have genuine shoulder problems or looking for help. And it's ultimately not helpful for my reputation because I'm going to try to get square pegs and put them into my round hole. Like, I'm going to be inviting people into my practice that are sort of maybe loosely something that I can help. And then when I don't help a bunch of people, I'm going to be known for the person that doesn't help a bunch of people. But if I'm like, hey, I'm a headache guy, I'm a migraine guy, I'm a back pain guy, I'm a neck pain guy, I'm a Meniere's person, I'm a whatever your thing is. And every chiropractor has different things. And don't feel bad about understanding what your wheelhouse is. Like, that's silly. I said this when I did my podcast recently with Dr. John Sinberg. I said, like, well, why are we crapping on getting people out of pain? Like, it's a great thing to help people get out of pain. Like, if you've ever been in pain, the only thing you want is to get out of pain. Like, being in pain sucks. And most chiropractors are chiropractors because chiropractic helped them get out of pain or help them in some health thing. Most chiropractors are not chiropractors because their chiropractor helped them reach their fullest health potential. Like, that's silly. That's a secondary benefit. That's something you probably didn't even understand the first time you really benefited from chiropractic. If chiropractic stopped helping you get out of pain, you probably stopped going to the chiropractor just like everyone else. So what I would encourage you to do, and this sort of brings me back to, like, I'm drawing out this long answer to the question, is that I just encourage you to sit down and really understand who are you? What is your superpower? What do you have to offer people? Why would someone choose you? What is the problem that they have? This is an exercise that I take people through in my Next Step program. There's a section called Know Your Purpose, and it's for this. It's for sort of giving you asking the questions and say, like, forcing you to come up with these answers. And I can't answer these questions for you because the type of patients that you're going to see that they're going to do really great in your practice aren't necessarily going to do well in someone else's practice or wouldn't have done well in my practice. And that's okay. That's actually how you can be in a city with 30 other chiropractors, and it's fine because your people aren't their people. And if you know that and you're comfortable with that, it really helps you get clarity, because now your website starts making sense and your marketing materials make sense and the advertising you're doing makes sense. The social media posts start to make sense. And you can even decide what to do and what not to do based on what makes sense. If you want to be a pediatric chiropractor, you probably shouldn't book a table at Seniorama. If you want to be a sports chiropractor, go where the sports things are at. If you don't want to be a sports chiropractor, don't go to the sporting event marketing to a bunch of athletes and sporty people. It doesn't make any sense. So when you have clarity about who you are, it makes your marketing better. It makes it more effective. And the people that you attract into your practice are the people that you really can help. And you end up with a practice full of people that you love and that love you because you're doing a great job, because you're doing the things you're supposed to be doing. So I think that that's the biggest mistake that chiropractors make. And the reason I think it's the biggest mistake is because that one mistake negatively impacts how you train your staff. It negatively impacts how your website, your marketing, your branding, even the colors of your website could change based on what your brand is. I had a chiropractor one time that asked me to do a practice assessment. And if you want me to look at your website and SEO, I'd be happy to do that for free. Go to Rocket Chiro and request a practice assessment. One of the chiropractors asked me to do this. I looked at her website, and my first question to her was, do you see a bunch of old people? Like, is your practice centered on pediatric or geriatrics, like older people? She said, no. It's like, no, I don't see hardly any old people at all. And I was like, well, why is your website full of pictures of old people? And then all she was putting is pictures of people getting care, or pictures of people being happy. But she didn't think about the fact that your practice website is mostly people that are Medicare age and older. If that's not who you're trying to attract, you might want to change that. And it's just how much money, how much effort, how much time has she been spending to build a reputation within her community? And she's putting out the wrong bait, going to the wrong place, doing the wrong thing. She's fishing for fish instead of fishing for something specific. Don't do that. It's bad marketing. It's bad business. And starting a chiropractic practice is hard. Even if you do everything right, it's hard. It's scary because it's scary. It's hard because it's hard. And anyone that tells you otherwise is not being honest with you. Some of the people that they drag into these chiropractic colleges to give you these rah-rah speeches or send you to seminars and act like it's not a difficult thing and everyone can be successful and it's what a great time to be a chiropractor. It is a great time to be a chiropractor. It's a perfectly fine time to be a chiropractor. But don't think it's easy. It's not easy. Running a business is not easy. Being the boss is not easy. Taking care of patients is not easy. The human beings that you have to manage in practice, not easy. Training staff and dealing with staff, not easy. Don't make it harder by not having any idea who you are and what you do and having the shotgun approach to your practice. You're not everyone's chiropractor. And the sooner you figure that out, the better your practice is going to be. All right, guys, that's it. If you'd like help with your website and SEO, go to Rocket Chiro and reach out to me. I'd be glad to do that. If you want a practice assessment, you can go there to rocketchiro.com and check that out and ask for one there. I am done. I'm out of here. If you're new, let me say this before I go. If you're new and you want help with figuring out your purpose, you want help with your marketing, you want help getting started, or you've been out for a little while and you're feeling stuck, check out my Next Step program. It's a great place for chiropractors in that situation who are needing a little bit of a boost and a bump in the right direction to grow the practice that they want to have. All right, guys, I'm out. I'll talk to you guys later. See ya.